I hope. I've been thinking to myself about the frustration that I've been feeling in the last few games and wondering why I'm so frustrated. Because the truth is, we've played Coventry, Burnley, Sunderland, good teams, and we've lost those games. Now, when you go through a season, you're always going to lose some games. So why am I so sort of on edge about it? But I don't think it's the fear of relegation. I think we'll be fine with that. And before the season started, I'd got, no thoughts that we might have any chance of getting promoted. So when you're going through a season like that, you're going to lose matches. And you're accepting of that. When you go to a football game, you'll win, you'll lose, and you'll draw. So where's the frustration come from? Well, before the season started, and considering everything that happened last year, we stayed up by the skin of our teeth. I think anyone realistic would have said, yeah, mid-table, that'd be a good finish for us, and that's what we're well on course for. So why are we getting stressed that we're losing to teams with better squads than us, better squad depth than us, teams who've been able to challenge in the market for players and building on something, teams that in terms of trying to get promoted and get to Premier League are further ahead of us in their sort of journey to get there. It's only 2 years ago we were in third division, and we've still got a lot of those players with us. So why am I frustrated that we're losing to Burnley? And why am I frustrated that we lose to Coventry or a very good young Sunderland team? The reason it's frustrating is not because I expect us to get in the playoffs, and I think that we should be getting in the playoffs. It's not that, we're going to turf more and expect us to beat a team like Burnley, who's recently been in the Premier League and got that money to soften the blow and help them, despite the fact they've had to sell players, rebuild again with their good quality for the Championship. Don't expect us to go there. I think where the frustration comes in is because of the way that we are playing. Now, I know we're losing games, and I know this talk we ain't got a 30-goal-a-year striker. But who has? Let's be honest. Who has in this division? And we're conceding soft goals. And that is annoying. But we're conceding soft goals because we ain't got the depth at the back. So I shouldn't be too frustrated that, we're playing full-backs at centre-half. We're down to our fifth centre-half at the moment. It was fifth choice at the beginning of the season. So I shouldn't be too frustrated with that. I should half expect that we're going to concede goals, But I think the frustration comes in is, I think we're playing really good. I do. I think we're playing some fantastic football. And I think the frustration comes there in looking at what we're achieving with the squad we've got. Look at Parson, Palmer, Ehekwe, Windass, Bannon. Decent players, but like I said, they've all been with us in the third division. We're now at the sort of upper half of the Championship. And we ain't got that depth. We ain't got that quality through the squad. But I look at the performances that we're putting in, and albeit we're not getting results against the top sides, Burnley, Sunderland, Leeds, whatever, we're matching them teams. The 2 goals at Leeds, okay, there's the early one and the late one, but for 70 minutes in that game, we're more than matched them, and they're easily the best team in the division. Better team than Burnley for 45 minutes, in fact I'd argue for 60 minutes. Played brilliantly against Sunderland, we dominated the ball against Coventry, and we're doing it with a squad that's not a top 10 squad, really. And that's where my frustration comes in, because I look at this manager, who's an exciting manager, who I've got absolutely no doubt will go to the very top of the game. I've got no doubt about that at all. And I look at the tune that he's getting out of these players. He's squeezing every last bit out of them, and we're seeing that in the performances. They're playing some really good football. We're creating chances, we're attacking teams, we're knocking it about. It's good to watch. The frustration is that we're doing it with a squad that's not ready to compete for the top 6, really. And we're doing it with a squad that's got no depth. Because we haven't been able to operate in the market that these teams above us are operating in. And That is frustrating because we haven't got the money to be able to compete with those teams. That's where it's frustrating. And the reason we haven't got the money to be able to compete, I know people will say, Mr. Chan said he ain't bothered anymore or this or that. The reason we haven't got money to compete is because we haven't been run properly. We haven't traded in the last 10 years players. We sold Jack Hunt the first time round for money. Good deal. We sold Gel. Bambo Diaby in the summer. Other than that, I'm struggling to think of players that we brought in and sold on and reinvested that money. I mean, we'll go back, I think it's 9 years now, 8 years. Newcastle. Looking at over £10 million to try and sign Forestieri, who ends up going for nothing. Now, if it's true that we could have got 15 million for him, you could bring in £3-5 million 22-year-olds for that money. And that's how you've got to operate. That's how other clubs operate, and we aren't. And that's why I'm frustrated. Not frustrated that we're conceding poor goals because we've got, one fit centre half and the rest of fullbacks filling in. I'm frustrated because we're getting such a good tune out of this group, and if we'd been run properly, we could have been up there. I can only imagine what this manager could do if he was allowed to work with that next level up of players. I'm not saying top Premier players, but players capable of challenging and the top 4 or 5 places in the Championship. What could he do with those players? Well, look at the tune he's getting out of players that 18 months ago, a lot of people had written off. People were writing off Michael Smith. People were writing off Callum Patterson. But look at the tune he's getting out of them. What sort of tune could he get out of players from an higher level? Look at young Shea Charles, who couldn't get in the Southampton team and didn't play as many games as he could have when they were in this division. Look at what a player he is in this team. Well, imagine if he could bring 4 or 5 players into that quality, what he could do then. And that's where my frustration is. My frustration, I realise now, is not actually at the results. It's not at the 4 goals we've conceded at Burnley and lost. It's not about losing to Coventry, and it's not particularly about losing to Sunderland. My frustration is we've played brilliantly in those games, but what has cost us is that we haven't got that quite next level of quality. And the reason that we haven't got that next level of quality is we haven't done proper transfer business over a huge period of time. We bring players in on big money, on long contracts, and then those contracts are seen out and they leave for fuck all. You cannot run a business that way. You've got to sell high. We haven't done that consistently. We haven't done that for well over a decade. And that's a frustration. Because we've got a quality manager, a good coaching team. They've obviously got an idea and a vision of what they want. And they're not able to do it at the moment. I've realised that's where my frustration is. So after the game, when I do a video, if you're watching and you're thinking, he looks a bit of a miserable get, is he expecting us to break into top 6? No, I'm not. I'm frustrated because I know run properly with this setup that we've now got in place, we could achieve that. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say really. Playing some really good stuff with a mid-table squad and with that little bit more quality at the front and at the back. That could be us.